Television 9 now brings you the mid-morning news with Bill Diehl.
Good morning, everyone. 3 American cities saw racial violence during the night. By far the worst was in Cleveland, Ohio, where Negroes by the hundreds went on a rampage, many of them shouting black power. When order had been restored in the early morning hours, 1 Negro woman had been killed, 2 Negro men wounded, and at least 15 others, including 4 policemen, have been injured by flying bricks and other missiles. Store owners gave up trying to protect their goods. In this photo, a Negro in plain view of police boldly carts off a fan as others take clothes. In Jacksonville, Florida, Negroes egged on by jeering whites raced through the stores of a Negro neighborhood, hurling firebombs, rocks, and bricks. 2 white men were beat up. The outbreak followed a march on City Hall by Negroes urging an end to alleged racial discrimination by the city. In New York City, 2 areas had trouble for several hours, East Harlem and the east section of Brooklyn. 1 Negro woman was shot in the hip during fighting among Negroes, Puerto Ricans, and Italians. It appears the long, hot summer has definitely arrived. In the Vietnam War, 2 U.S. Marine platoons are reported to have fought off human waves of North Vietnamese troops for 4 hours as they covered the withdrawal of the rest of their battalion. The bloody fight occurred yesterday in the Steamy Mountains, 400 miles northeast of Saigon. The executive officer of that Marine battalion said they came in waves. There were 1,000 of them, speaking conservatively, and he adds, we didn't have over 300 Marines. Another Marine said everyone in our first squad of 14 men was hit except 2. Over 600 wounded veterans of the Vietnam War and other hospitalized servicemen traveled down the Potomac yesterday afternoon on a summer showboat cruise. Defense Secretary and Mrs. McNamara played host to the men. Lots of good food and beer were on hand. But the highlight of the affair was a surprise visit from none other than President and Mrs. Johnson, who boarded the cruise boat from a launch. Astronauts Collins and Young are whirling around the globe today. During the night, they successfully rendezvoused and linked up with the Agena target vehicle. Late this afternoon, Collins will poke his head out of that spacecraft to conduct some experiments. Later on, he'll try a spacewalk. More news and weather coming up in just a moment.
Dear friends, I began listening to your broadcast when I was a small child. Today I am 22, and for most of what I know about the world, I have to thank Radio Free Europe.
As long as we continue to hear from people like her, we will continue to broadcast the truth into the communist-ruled countries of Romania, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Hungary. She can't come to you for the truth, but you can reach her. The Iron Curtain isn't soundproof. Give to Radio Free Europe.
Further negotiations are set for this morning in an effort to end that airline strike, but there's been no definite sign of any major progress. Congressman Mendel Rivers says he'll introduce a bill today to open Bowling and Anacostia airports to civilian aircraft as a way to help the crowded national situation. But local anti-poverty officials are raising a big stink, saying the land can be better used for low-income housing. Meantime, the FAA canceled a scheduled meeting today with some congressmen saying it wants more time to review the jet restrictions it ordered at National effective August the 7th. And public relations man Julius Klein testifies before the Senate Ethics Committee this morning. It's charged that Senator Dodd acted as Klein's errand boy in the interest of West German business. The weather, cloudy and hot, a 50% chance of rain today, high in the upper 90s, low tonight near 72. Clearing, cooler on Wednesday. Right now, 79 degrees. Bill Diehl, WTOP News.
This has been the mid-morning news. For later developments in world and area news, watch Newsday today at 1 p.m. Comedy, music, and European circus acts come your way tonight at 8:30 on Hippodrome with host Woody Allen in color on Television 9 in Washington.